reason I made this video is to give coaches a better understanding of how to teach any soccer formation they may choose. It doesn't matter if the formation is a 4-3-3, a 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2, 3-5-2, whatever it is, it just doesn't matter. Teaching any formation requires the same process, and hopefully this video will give you that process and will help you teach any formation that you like. So I'm going to use the 4-2-3-1 formation in this video just to illustrate my points. Here you can see the back four. In pink you have the two center midfielders, the number 6 and the number 8, and then you have the wingers in red, attacking center mid in yellow, and the striker in blue. So let's start with teaching the formation. So when you teach any formation, you have to cover how your team is going to play the formation in all 3/3 of the field. The defensive third, the middle third, and the attacking third. You also want to address all the transitions that are involved in both the attack and defense. So when you're going from defense to attack and attack to defense, you have to address all those transitions and how it affects the formation. You also should have a really good understanding of the 4 phases of the game, which is attacking transition, which is what happens right when you win the ball. Attacking organization is after you win the ball and you have it and more time goes by, you have a chance to set up your players and really push into the attacking third. Defensive transition, what do you do as soon as you lose the ball? And then also after defensive transition, when you lose the ball and you have more time and your team gets organized behind the ball, how does that all affect your formation? And lastly, you really have to make sure that your training sessions address what happens to the formation that you're teaching in all thirds of the field, when you have the ball, when you don't have the ball, during transition. You can't just teach defense in a low block with everyone behind the ball and that's all you're going to cover on the defensive end of it in the formation, because what happens if you lose the ball in the middle of the field? What happens if you lose it in the attacking third? These are all different things that will affect the formation that you're teaching. So let's start at looking at the 4-2-3-1 formation in the defensive third of the field. So if you look at this formation here, you're going to say, oh, this might not be a 4-2-3-1, it looks like a 4-1-4-1. Well, all we simply did was, this is something that the coach, you can mold the formation to how you want to play it. So in this case, we left the 6 in between the 2 lines of 4. We dropped the number 10, the attacking center mid, into the midfield line. And now we have a 4-1-4-1, which is a great defensive shape. And you could play that in a 4-2-3-1. That's just going to be your low block defensive shape. So you could see that that would be part of our game model, and you can adjust the formation however you want to adjust the formation. Now we take a look at what happens if we win the ball from that low block. Well, if we win the ball, we go into attacking transition, and you can see that the team and the formation has opened up. So the wing backs have opened up, the 6 has got in front of the 2 center backs, and the 8 and the 10 have spread out, and the wingers have gotten wide. And again, this is just another thing that you would teach. This is start of attacking transition when you win the ball in a low block. Now from that middle third in attack, we move to the attacking third, and you can see here the wing backs now create the width. They have bombed on and they're both really forward. The wingers have cut inside, and now you essentially have an attacking line of 5 players. The 6 sits in front of the 2 center backs. The 8 really works the middle as the 10 pushes forward. And now you can look at this formation as a 2-1, maybe 2-5. So you can see how that formation has changed there in the attacking third. Next, when you're teaching a formation, you should always choose a line of confrontation as well. And that's basically the line where your team generally drops off to. You can extend pressure over that line, but usually in players of 2 and 3. So if you look at the blue line, that's a low block. The red line is a little higher up the field, and the yellow line is a high press. Now the line of confrontation kind of gives your team structure, gives them some organization. You can also put in pressing zones, so you figure, hey, if the ball goes out wide, these players are going to press, and then we're going to go from that pressing zone straight into a counterattack. These are all things that, again, the coach puts into the game model and puts into the formation and organizes it to his wishes. Again, here we see a low block defending with a 4-1-4-1, and this is just one option that you can organize a formation into. Again, it can be any formation that you want to drop into this formation. but this was a 4-2-3-1 that drops into a 4-1-4-1, and they're holding a low block, and that might be the line of confrontation that they're choosing is that blue line. Here's another example where you'd have a 4-4-2, and again, it could come off of the 4-2-3-1. All you're going to do now is push the number 10, the attacking center mid, forward to join the striker. And now if you see the ball's all the way up on the left-hand side, that means that the right center mid drops into that gap in between the two lines. So you actually have 4-1-3-2. And that's just another idea for the coach to implement and teach into whatever formation that they're teaching. In this clip, this is attacking in the attacking third. You can see that the left wing back has the ball, outlined with the ball in blue circle. Now, if you want to play more aggressive, your right wing back can go all the way forward like he is. If you want to play more conservative, you can see the arrow. He can tuck back next to the center backs. The 6, the defensive center mid, is holding steady there. If you want to allow rotation between the 6, the 8, and the 10, you can do that because often it's a nice option to have movement and players that are interchangeable. All these things the coach will fit into the game model, and that fits into the formation to give the player structure to operate in that formation. Now, when you're teaching a formation, a game model and a formation kind of go hand in hand. You can't teach a formation without a game model, and pretty much vice versa. So you need to have an attacking game model, how we're going to play. I kind of gave you an example of some things you could do in the last clip, and a defensive game model, where you're going to drop off to, or you're going to press, or you're going to zonal press. What are you going to do? You need to design that. You can keep it for the whole season. You could change it week to week, but make sure that however you teach your formation and game model, you teach it in all your training exercises, in all thirds of the field, and in all 4 phases of play. Hopefully you found the video useful for teaching formations. Remember, all my books can be found on Amazon.com. I have a lot of books on formations. I have the 4-4-2 diamond, the 4-2-3-1, the 2-6-2, the 3-5-2. Over 50 publications I have on Amazon.com, so check it out under Marcus DiBernardo under soccer on Amazon.com. Hope the video was useful.